You're watching HFO-TV, your partner in Pacific Northwest multifamily investing. HFO-TV is brought to you by Pacific Exteriors Northwest, apartment siding contractors with nearly 30 years of experience, providing exceptional quality and service to multifamily and residential owners. And by Gantry Incorporated, the nation's largest independent mortgage banking firm.
Welcome back to HFO-TV. I'm Greg Trick, partner at HFO Investment Real Estate. Today, we're lucky to have with us Nathan Vasquez, who's running for Multnomah County District Attorney and is competing against the incumbent Mike Schmidt. So I know it's a really busy time right now. I mean, there's couple weeks till the election. Reminding people, please get your ballots in. But thank you for taking a couple minutes here to talk to our audience. So tell us kind of what's the main reason why you're running for Multnomah County, District Attorney, and what your experience is and how that led to the decision of where we are today.
Yeah, I've been a prosecutor now for 24 years. I'm on my 24th year. I started as an intern back in 2000, and I've always loved serving the community, standing up for victims, really just trying to deliver high quality public safety to Multnomah County. And the last 4 years have been brutal. It's not gone well. I think not just for the county, but also internally in our office. And as a result, I think the public at large is suffering, and it is a lot of there's a lot of factors out there. However, a big factor is the leadership in the district attorney's office, and that needs to change.
Which I was going to ask about that, because it is a little unusual that you have somebody within the office running against the incumbent who's there. I mean, it was, and we kind of know the sentiment outside the office. It was even bad inside the last 4 years.
Yeah, I mean I was happy doing my job in the sense of, I was prosecuting these very large cases, murder cases, major sexual assault cases, handling kind of the big stuff, and being a litigator. I really enjoyed that. And I worked a lot out in the community, but it was it is extremely bad inside of the office. We lost 40 of our 90 attorneys left in the past 4 years.
Wow.
We hired behind that, but we lost 300 years of experience, and
that's a lot of knowledge walking out the door.
Yeah, and most of what we hired back were really 1 or 2 years out of law school. So really young people. They're sharp group, but they're they need a lot of training and a lot of help. And so combine that with the fact that there have been 3 separate gender discrimination complaints of retaliation. I mean, there's just a lot that the elected DA has really caused mass chaos in the office with that type of stuff, and it leads to terrible morale, and just a lot of insecurity within the office. And I think, of course, what we see on the outside, and the public gets to see the broken relationships,
Right.
with things like law enforcement,
Right.
and the business community, and the list goes on. And it's emblematic of kind of the overall kind of failure of management by the elected DA.
So, like I said, we talked before about it. There's the sense here within Multnomah County is public safety and what hasn't been happening the last 4 years. I mean, how do you implement changes, or what improvements do you do from the district attorney's office to address these community needs that are really driving this driving this election?
I mean, day one is to really get out there and fight to reestablish the partnership with law enforcement. This is one where, thankfully, I've spent over 2 decades working with the men and women of the Portland Police Bureau, Multnomah County Sheriff, Gresham, Troutdale, Fairview when they were existent, and then the Port of Portland and all the other little agencies out there. I work with them, and so they know me, they can trust me, they endorsed me, so those are all good.
I was going to
starts.
say, yeah, looking at the endorsements, you have all those groups endorsed you on this.
Yeah, and it really is kind of going out to them and really saying, hey, we're at a crossroads and we have an amazing opportunity. And what I'm going to tell them is that they have a partner now. They have someone who is here to work with them, not against them, and someone that is here to support them along the way. And that, this is our opportunity. And what I need from them is I need them to feel like, hey, I can get out of my car. I can go make that arrest. I can submit that case, and it's going to get prosecuted because Nathan and his team are going to do their part of the job. And, I mean, it's one where it is just that confidence of, hey, this is a system that's working. It's a system where the DA is on our side and trying to do the same thing, which is deliver public safety.
And then in terms of, what kind of strategies would you do in terms of, because I know there's been some, you know, public distrust, just people, not really sure what's kind of goes on behind the scenes. I mean, how do you get that transparency level for the public so they've got confidence? Because I think there's just been a total erosion of lack of confidence in terms of what's happening, policies in place. They may not know the inner workings, but how do you, how do you lay that out to the public?
Well, I think it's consistently doing our job and then just making sure that we're messaging that and also going out into the community and meeting with groups. And things, when things go well, it's letting people know, but it's also when things don't go well, it's showing up and saying, hey, here's what happened. But a lot of it is, I think, consistently showing up to the community when there are problems and saying, hey, we're here to be a part of the solution. And what we've heard for the last 4 years is when things didn't go well or there were problems, you just saw like the elected DA pointing fingers at the
Right.
police or at this bureau, that bureau. And it was never, let me tell you how I'm going to lead to help this situation get better. And, I'll give you a very direct example. The homeless situation, which I think everyone in the county agrees is broken, it's not working well. We're all upset about it, right?
Right.
Well, it's not that the DA can fix it by him or herself. But the question is, can I be a leader in that field, in that area? And the answer is yes. One of the things that I push for is, okay, there's all these shelters and there's things that are out there, but there's never any real accounting or database of what's available, what are the different types, can we keep track of it? Can we give police officers, law enforcement, your street response, all of them the tools so that they can quickly identify, hey, here's something that's available for this person to get them off the street. I mean, it's amazing to me that we sit here and at this time and we don't have that. And it's not necessarily district attorney a function, but it's a gap in the system that I see and I push for every day. So,
Well, it did seem like since, I
that's what we
mean,
need.
maybe it was even before COVID, but it really, reared its head in COVID. Just there seemed to be within the county just a lot of people working in their individual silos, and not there wasn't a comprehensive approach to a lot of things. And like you said, there's been a lot of finger pointing from leadership at the county to the district attorney and all the way down the road. So it's good to hear that you've recognized that and know that needs to be repaired to move forward. Um, how do you, I mean, what do you do to address some of these concerns about, from public safety to drug crimes to community police? I mean, what kind of things, you get elected, what kind of things would change or what would the public see to know that, things are moving in the direction?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, one of the biggest thing I know that's on folks' mind is what are we going to do about, recriminalization of hard drugs like fentanyl,
Right.
heroin, and methamphetamine? Because, it's a big issue for our community and it's really weighing heavy on everyone when you see kind of constant drug deals out your door and you see individuals, smoking fentanyl, at every corner. And, I'll tell you that it's a bit shocking. There was something that happened this week that not many people heard about or knew about, but the district attorney's office, we get our budget, every year from the county, and
Right.
the current elected DA, he went in and he asked for a grand total of $0 to deal with this new change in the law. I still am shocked to say that, but we went through the whole budget presentation. I sat there and I watched. It got to the end, and the county commissioner said, "Hey, so we just recriminalized drugs under 4002, that House bill.
Right.
So what's the plan? Where's the ask for this? Nothing." And I was sitting there going, part of me is thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna inherit this office
I was going to
and
ask
I'm
you.
gonna
So
have
then, yeah, if this is for the budget
yeah.
for next year.
So I know I'm gonna have to go back to the county and say this was a massive oversight by the previous district attorney. And this isn't, when I say oversight, this isn't an accidental oversight. This is an intentional one. I mean, he was asked about it, and I think everyone should very, very, keenly remember that right before that bill passed, he took $30,000 to his campaign from the Drug Policy Alliance. So I don't know if this is his way of paying them back or what, but it is clear that he has zero intentions of doing anything to help this crisis. And I for one will not stand for that, because this is one where my plan has been very direct. I've been out there saying it has to be attacked at the street level with
Right.
drug dealers. at the kind of mid-level, when you have people who are overdosing and dying, and making sure that we're dedicating the resources to go after those folks. And then you have to work with the U.S. Attorney's Office, and those two other teams need to feed up into the third team of how do we stop the flow of drugs into the community? Because right now it is just, it's truckloads.
Right.
And how do you slow that down? And then how do you slow the flow of money out of our community? Because it's clearly there's a lot of money going out of our community as a result of this. So, that it's a something that I've done throughout my career to build teams to attack this. And I can tell you that on the other side, there is zero effort from our current elected DA. And the other piece is what even was kind of almost more offensive is, there are all these individuals struggling with substance abuse disorder. They're out there using
Right.
fentanyl, heroin, and methamphetamine. And you have no plan to assist or to be a part of the solution for that. I find that wildly offensive. And that's not at all my approach. My approach is to be engaged, is to help those individuals, to try to, connect them with treatment. And when they struggle, yeah, I'm going to hold them accountable.
Right.
But I really want to see them get through the treatment process. And I want to be a part of that solution, because sadly, we saw what happened when we threw up our hands and walked away. They died, and
Yep.
it was terrible for everyone. And
Massive.
that's not what I want.
So with the recriminalization of hard drugs, which probably is going to go through. I mean, what is that? What is that? Is that what kind of levers does that give the district attorney, and for a plan to try to address some of these issues?
Yeah, I mean, the way that the law was written, it starts in September, and they've
Right.
built in a lot. They built in, what we call deflection or diversion at every possible turn, which that's fine. And
Okay.
I would love to see if people would take the opportunity when on the street they're referred off to treatment, that they go and do that. I would love that. I'm not gonna stop there or hold my breath and think that that's gonna work, every time or even most of the time, quite frankly. And so that means then they're going to come into the system under a drug crime, and the drug crimes now are what we call unclassified misdemeanors. And essentially, an unclassified misdemeanor is similar to what we used to call a Class B misdemeanor. So they face about a potential of maximum of 6 months in jail, but that will never happen up front. It'll always be in small increments if they repeatedly fail to engage in treatment.
Oh, you said they have
And
options through the process to engage in some kind of treatment.
yes, treatment and diversion. I mean, they can, if they go get themselves into treatment and are actively engaged in treatment, their cases will get dismissed. And so it's only those folks that are like, hey, they maybe they say they're going to go do treatment, and then they just
Right.
bomb out immediately,
Right.
and those are the ones that eventually are going to find themselves, okay, now we have to, because they're wildly out of control. Hey, we need to have you in the local jail for maybe 10 days to get clean and sober, and then we'll start referring you again out to outpatient treatment options. So I mean, it is really one that, the current system allows for a whole host of options and ranges for what we call deflection and diversion. And then the question is going to be, is the district attorney's office going to be involved in that and trying to help people or not? And I can tell you, if the current elected DA continues, we will not be involved. He made that clear with his
Well, we've
budget.
seen it. I mean, we've seen it for the last 4 years. I mean, there just hasn't been. I mean, there seems to be a little bit of a change of the tune as the election's running where we are. But I mean, your record, it's not what you say, it's what you do. And looking what's happened the last 4 years, there needs to be a change, all the way through. And I think you're seeing it in the leadership in Multnomah County. You're seeing it, with the DA side. So that's. I have a question. This is more like technical on. So how does the DA? Do you work tightly with like Washington County, Clackamas County, and coordinating things, or it's like I said, it just seems like lately everybody's kind of been in their own little, silo, not wanting, just want to point fingers and not, collaborate with anybody or do anything.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing it right, yes, you are,
Yeah.
because we are linked with Washington County and Clackamas County for sure, and even Clark County, Washington.
Right.
Those
Yeah.
are that kind of the county area plus Clark County. These are, we are vital to work together. It's really essential, because the crime doesn't recognize, hey, there's a county border there, I'm going to stop, right? There is a little bit of right now, sadly, people are afraid to go into Washington County or Clackamas County versus Multnomah County, because they think they can get away with anything here. And so, I mean,
Yeah.
and that's a bad situation for us, but it is one where we need to be working closely with them. You've got Kevin Barton as a district attorney in Washington County, and John Whitworth up in or down in Clackamas County. And so, these are all ones that, I work with closely. I've known them for years. I fully anticipate that we will have a very, very strong partnership in
Oh,
addressing
good.
some of these issues coming up.
Well, I know we're wrapping up on time, so I just want to, I want to thank you for, taking the time to do this, and also just for the public service that you've done for years, and putting your hat in the ring in this, because I think it's evident across the board that there needs to be a change in leadership in a lot of things, but this is very important. And I've never seen in my time here in Oregon this much activity on a district attorney, which shows you that I think people are fed up and looking for a change. And so I want to thank you for doing that. And finally, what message would you want to share with voters 2 weeks before the election?
Yeah, I guess the big thing is, it's a primary election. However, this is going to be the deciding election for the district attorney's office. So this is going to be
Okay.
decided May 21st. This isn't going into November. This
Okay.
will be it. So that means two things. I need people to vote, and I need people to tell everyone they know to vote, to encourage that. This is truly in these primary elections, the turnout can be as low as like
Oh, I know.
30% or less.
I know.
This is one where really, if people want to see that change, they've got to mail in that ballot or got to drop it off at the box. There also was a massive, massive dump of out-of-state dark money came into this race for the elected, district attorney Mike Schmidt. This is a lot. It's a lot like Measure 110, where this out-of-state money came in to try to buy this election, and that's what's happening here. And they are spending massively. And so, if people are inclined to donate to help me kind of fight back and get my message out, I would love that as well. You can go to my website. It's literally just my name. So it's www.nathanvasquez.com. So there's
Got it.
no dots between the Nathan and Vasquez, just nathanvasquez.com, and that'll get you to my website.
Perfect. Well, thank you again, people. Don't forget to vote. This is a very, like I said, I've never in my 50 years here, I can't remember a Multnomah County and district attorney election in May that's had more people talking about it, more energy towards it. And I think it's really indicative of where we are as a city, and it's time for a change of leadership. And this is, one of the first steps to get there. So again, as Nathan brought up, you've got to get your vote out. You've got to do this. We're at a crossroads here, and I think we can go either direction, but I think most people want to go a different direction. I think it's time to do that. So thank you again for taking the time to do this. Commend you for all your hard work, and we'll wish you success, and we'll talk to you after the election and congratulate you on a big win.
Great.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Talk to you soon.
Right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Our entire office specializes in multifamily real estate, making HFO the largest multifamily brokerage in the Pacific Northwest. Your success is our passion. Build your legacy with HFO. Call 503-241-5541 or visit our website at hfore.com for more information.